Hi, I'm Jen, and welcome to Abstract Portraits, where I paint the vibe. Today, I'll be painting Jen. Jen, whenever you're ready, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jen. I was born in California, moved around a shit ton, and lived in New York City for 17 years and loved it. Now I'm here in Austin, living the full tie dye and artist life. I also love that. So you live in that tie dye life, and what else is going on in your artist life here in Austin? Well, it's always been a dream of mine to paint a mural, and this February I painted my first mural. Well, I assisted on a mural with this wonderful artist, uh, this woman named Becca. Um, I actually just Googled Austin muralist and found one with an Instagram account and messaged them from my art account and said, "Hey, if you ever need an assistant, I'm new to Austin. I'd love to learn some of the Austin ropes." Wow, that is so cool. Wow, the how did you think about doing that? I know it's kind of weird, right? But I figured, you know, the universe won't know what to give you if you don't ask for it. And I had a little bit of just dipping my toe into that manifesting the life you want. And so I reached out and I figured the worst thing can happen is that she'd block me. And the nice thing is that she is like just a fabulous artist and has introduced me to a lot of other artists. I've actually found the artist community here to be really welcoming, and everyone is really supportive and even generous. Like, oh, I don't do this kind of work, but I know someone who does. Or I heard about this opportunity for artists. All of you should apply. And I really think that's very cool. So, huzzah. Wow, I love that about Austin. Jenna, you said earlier that you're living that tie dye life. What does that mean? Well, I love that. I love talking about the tie dye life. Tie dye life is like the life of the good vibes, or at least trying to put out good vibes and share good vibes. And I know I just said the word vibes a lot. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's vibes everywhere. Since living in Austin, I've met a lot of people who are like, I'm normally not someone who likes to say things like vibes, like there's something wrong with it. Um, but I just really think that tie dye is smiling with your clothes, and I've seen just like people from all walks of life, all different cultures and all different ages, smile and react to tie dye. Like walking down the street in full tie dye, there'll be a whole family of like parents and kids of different sizes with a dog, and everyone, including the dog, will look and like most of the time have a giant smile or excitement on their face, or just like, wow, what is that new thing? And that's a great way to greet people and to interact in the world. I mean, I started wearing tie dye originally because, of course, it's fun and bright colors, and it's something you make when you're in high school and college for cheap and fun t shirts. And then I kept on wearing it because if you spill on tie dye, it hides the stains a lot. And when I was a bartender, that was really nice. And then also, I kept on wearing it because it really helps me um, like lift my mood. Bright colors really make me happy. Whenever I'm in a store that has bright colors, I'm like a moth to a flame. I'm like, please, more colors. And so just like wearing these bright colors and seeing these bright things just really gives me cheer. Like I can't help but be cheerful. And and so I 100% do it for myself. But then when I see how other people react, I mean, shoot, even if the tie-dye doesn't help lift me up, seeing other people get cheer from it lifts me up. Like if it's like those mirror neurons, like if you smile and you look at someone, if they smile too, it's fantastic. I love that tie-dye life. It's like high-fiving instantly without having to touch anyone. Wow, I really love that. Tie-dyeing, you're saying, is your color of lime green. Lime green to me is very silly, you know, like that airplane game that you do with kids kind of thing. It's just very silly and fun, and most people, if not everyone, can really appreciate it. Lime green's also like kind of calming, and I like that. It's calming in the sense that it's still natural. It's not a neon, which isn't natural. Lime green shows up in nature all the time. I'm constantly out on walks, seeing legit lime green on the walk, on trees. It's kind of like a yellow, sometimes lime green. And I'm always like, how is that lime green in nature? But it's there, doing its own thing. It's fantastic. Jen, I love hearing about the things that you do that helps lift yourself up. Do you do anything else? Maybe there's other people in the audience, or other people in the world who are actively seeking ways to lift themselves up. So do you have any tips? Oh my God, I love that you asked that. Yes. Well, it took me a long time to accrue a list of things to do to help lift myself up. Some of them I know I need to practice every day, and some of them I use when, you know, something is a mess and askew in here. So like I make sure I'm active every day. Biking for transportation has been a real big help. Doing binaural beats. Binaural beats are when you listen to two different frequencies in your ears, and you listen to them for at least 7 minutes, and it will change the frequency of your brain. And I first started doing this like 15 years ago for like headaches and being tired and focus and stuff. And at the time, it was real like, is it pseudoscience? Is it just psychosomatic? Like, am I getting better because I think I'm getting better, like a sugar pill? But I didn't care because it helps. Like, if sugar pill helps, then I'm going to do a sugar pill. But now they've proven that it will actually change your brain frequency after 7 minutes. So I do that. You know, I'm in therapy. I paint. I wear tie-dye. Two-stepping. I just found two-stepping and I freaking love it. It is so much fun. It's one of my favorite things about Texas. That and bluegrass. Oh my goodness. Just did them both for the first time this year. Freaking love it. I also like to practice breathing. It took me about a year to really understand what meditation is, and about a year of even trying to practice meditation, and I found this great app that you can meditate for as little as a minute.
and just focus on breathing. And when I was still in the service industry, I would practice breathing, just some nice, good old fashioned box breathing to readjust what was going on. And that's just super helpful. You know, I've done so many portraits, just so many portraits of people. And one thing I'm constantly reminded of is that who a person is just changes constantly. And that is so fundamentally cool. I mean, one of the hardest things as a human is having to deal with change, right? But we're constantly changing, and that's just so fucking cool. I love it. Do you have any funny stories that you would like to talk about? Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about this story in years, and I don't really know why it's coming to mind now. But this one used to really get me going. So I used to bartend at this Irish pub with the day shift, and it was this place where if a customer walked out on the check, then it was the bartender's responsibility. It was your responsibility to pay for it. So this guy walked in and he ordered a shot and a beer, and he immediately took the shot, had some of the beer, and then got a phone call, and he walked kind of very casually to the door of the restaurant and was on his phone, and I was watching him because I was supposed to get a credit card right away, to open a tab, but then he took off. So I took off. I jumped over the bar and ran down the street and chased after him. And I caught up to him and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, you owe me $13.50. And he was shocked that I chased him. And so he ran down into the subway. And by that point, one of my bosses had come up and caught up to me. And she was like, "What's going on, Jen?" I was like, "He ran out of his check." And she was like, "Okay." So I ran after him, and we're down in Madison Square Garden, and I find him. And so we get there, and he's doing one of these things. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir, you owe me $13.50. And he and then took off again and ran to the subway. And I was like, "Lizzie," that was my boss, "Lizzie, I can run into the subway and chase after him. Do you want me to?" And she was like, "How much was the check?" And I go, $13.50. And she was like, "I don't think it's worth it." And she goes, so we decide not to, and we walk along the subway train stop, without going in. And then we see him walk by, and he sees us. And she yells an Irish curse at him. She's like, "May all of your offspring have boils of frogs and toads," or something like that. And I put a hex on you. And and then we laughed and giggled all the way back in. But boy, I felt like Wonder Woman. I didn't know I had it in me. Jumping over the bar, running down the street. I was booking it. Yeah, I didn't have to pay the $13.50, which was really nice. But I did get a lecture about chasing after someone. He could have had a knife or a gun, and $13.50 just isn't worth it. I was young and foolish, and felt invincible because I ran 10 miles every day before work. Wow! Oh my gosh, what a cool story. So much energy and vibrance. Oh man, you must have been a great bartender. Dude, I was the best bartender. Oh my gosh, I've totally been nervous
for an interview. I had this interview for um, my first office job in like 13 years. It was to be a writer for the marketing department of a software company. And it was the callback, which isn't what they say. They say it was the second interview. Instead of being a writer, though, they wanted me to be the lead editor of all the writers. And I was so thrilled and honored. They said that they had read some of my stuff and I clearly understood voice, but I didn't really understand what an editor was. um, and I was nervous that they were going to ask me to like demonstrate my editorial abilities, and I was gonna have to be like, I don't know what that is. But I knew if I got the job, I would be able to like Google how to do something once I got in there. So I like talked it over with my therapist, and she was like, I really doubt that they're going to do that, but just remember, like you've been writing for so long, and you know how to like represent yourself well, and just have confidence that if it's the right job for you, then you'll know how to do it. And if you don't know how to do something, just say so, and ask for a clarification. So I went in, and they definitely did not ask me anything about editing or writing or any of that stuff. It was like for me to meet like the head of marketing who lived in a different country, for me to meet the CEO who was like never there. And I think I actually got the job because they found out I was a bartender. But yeah, and I thought it would be fun to work there because after the interview, they had a happy hour, which of course they invited me to in the office. And the CEO talked about how when he was in college, he had put on a sketch called Fart Wars instead of Star Wars. And I was like, yes. Oh boy. You know, now that I'm spending so much more time with my dad, I realize that like farting is really funny, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like, you know, like what's really funny is when farts have more than one octave or like two tones, like oh, so funny. Wow. Yeah. Why did you think that they would ask you to perform the job at the interview? Well, at every other job I had, you had to perform the job at the interview. For acting, for bartending, for writing, you had to perform the job at the interview. If you're an actor, you audition with the material. They see you act. If you're a writer, they're like, pitch me some ideas. Blah, 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 writing. And if you're a bartender, they're like, let's see how you handle the busy hours. So I was expecting them to be like, here's some stuff to edit. Show us your work. But not every job is like that. I don't really know what to say either. When I don't know what to say, I think of the sun and how no matter where you go, it's always there. It's the one constant in life. And that's pretty cool. Whoop, 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 whoop.
We're almost done, Jen. All right, all right, all right.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
All right, here we go. What do you think? Do you like it? Oh my God, how interesting. thank you. Thank you for being a guest on the show. Wow, that is so cool. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And I hope to see y'all real soon.